Hey there, everyone. Welcome to A Slice of Life with Kellie and John. Today, our guest is, I have to get my notes because he has a very long title, Chris Erikson, the president of the Electrical Workers Without Borders of North America. And what is it, the acronym? EWWBNA is what the organization's called, shortened. And we're excited. I read a little bit about your history and we saw a video about what you guys do. It is shocking that in 2026 there are people around the world that don't have electricity. So tell us how this came about and what you do, Chris.
Yeah, so thank you, Kelly, John. Um, the Electric Workers Without Borders North America came into existence around 2011 at our convention. The IBW, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers convention, was being held in Vancouver. And we met with the Italians who had their own Electricians Without Borders. And we partnered up. We said, we like what you're doing and we want to help. And so we established ourselves and started to send volunteers around the world. They've been to Haiti. We've been as far away as Angola, in Peru, and different places. Subsequently, I became the president in 2024 and recognized that there's a need for what we do right here in the United States on the Navajo Indian Reservation. And John, that reservation does cover 3 states. They're in New Mexico, Utah, and Arizona. And the statistics out there of what's going on is unbelievable. Out of approximately 400,000 Navajo citizens, about 186,000 live on that reservation. And the nation is among the lowest of socioeconomic indicators for any geographic region in the United States. They have an unemployment rate of over 14%, 3 times the current U.S. average, and 37% of the Navajo live below the poverty line. More importantly is that there are 9,000 that have no electricity in their homes
Seriously.
and have never had it in their homes. And you can't imagine what it would be like to live in that climate without refrigeration, air conditioning, TV, computers, power, no power, everything. And so we've committed to going to fix that problem with the Navajo Tribal Utility, which runs the show out there. They bring the power lines to the homes, and we IBW volunteers from all over the country go out and we wire the homes and prepare them for when the power poles get there and the lines get there, and they just hook them up. And we made some progress. Almost 300 homes have been done in the last 2 years, and we're committed to seeing this project through, because it is just it tears your heart out to see how they're living out there. And I've been out there twice. I was out there last week again, and the work that's being done there, it's just great stuff.
I can't imagine, like, how do they eat if they don't have a refrigerator?
They cook. They have propane tanks. Some have some small solar setups, but primarily, they're cooking on coals and firewood. And there's no plumbing, there's no water, there's no electric, so there's no electric pump. They have outhouses. This is 2026 in the United States, and it's just atrocious. The Native Americans got the raw deal for a long, long time, but it is heart wrenching when we go and we meet the residents and we perform the work. They appreciate it like you just can't imagine.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's
And it must be a really complicated thing to do to
well, the nation is
put electricity.
it's gigantic. It's 28,000 miles. The Navajo Reservation is larger than the state of West Virginia. So, and the homes are so spread out, it takes many, many miles of power lines just to get to the homes. And we're working at. Navajo Utility started a program called Light Up Navajo in 20, I'm thinking 19, where utility companies were coming as part of what utility companies call mutual aid. And they were sending their crews with their equipment and volunteering, keeping them there for about a week on the reservation. And they would run the power lines. But again, they were coming up to homes that weren't wired, ready to even accept the power.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and so we started Light Up Navajo, and that's when we started in 24, bringing out the volunteers. We've had great partners. We've got a lot of help from a number of companies, Milwaukee Tool. I can plug these guys, right, John? Nika.
Yes, yes,
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they
yeah.
wouldn't mind.
I mean, Milwaukee was so generous. They set us up with like 3 complete sets of every type of tool that you would need for these installations for these crews. They've donated all of that. New York electrical contractors, Graybar distributors, and even Thorogood boots. This is a boot company. These are very high-end boots. They've given out a pair of boots to every volunteer that's been out there already, and people want to be a part of this in any way they can, and so that's happening as well. And we're excited about it, but we have work to do. Certainly, the program is funded through the U.S. government. I'm not sure exactly whether it's the Bureau of Indian Affairs or the Interior Department. And they have their funds secured probably through 2028. But at that point, it's going to come up for renewal.
Right.
And so the IBW has a government affairs department, and we've got active members. And what I'm asking them to do, my business managers across our country, to meet with the elected officials, the congressmen, the senators that they know, and show them that video. And they need to be made aware that when the need for this funding comes up to be voted on again, that this has to happen. Because if NTUA is out of funds, then they don't need us to go there and wire the homes as well. And we've been funding that through Electrical Workers Without Borders North America. We pay for the travel. We get them out to the reservation, and we cover that. The NTUA covers their hotel rooms, and they go for 2 weeks, and they're volunteers. They don't get paid for it.
And explain how far from the local big town it is.
Yeah, well, you fly in. I've been there twice. You fly into Albuquerque, and then you're 2 hours to Gallup, and then another 100 miles to NTUA's headquarters in Window Rock, and then you could be 2-3 hours in the truck just heading to the location of where the work site is. It's that.
The reason I brought that up was many years ago, back in the early 2000s, coming from the insurance business in New York. When I moved out to LA, the Vision company VSP contacted me and asked me to do insurance presentations for them from various times. And they asked, at one time they said, we're going to send you to the Navajo Nation out in Arizona.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So, this was before Waze. This was before having GPSs and stuff in your car. And so I printed it up on MapQuest and was amazed at what it said. I was like, no, this has to be wrong. Once it gets you off of Route 40, which was the old Route 66, and then you drive for an hour and a half, 2 hours on a road that just goes through the desert, just goes until you then start climbing up a mountain and you enter what becomes, at least in the Arizona area, the Navajo Nation. And I had to spend 5 or 6 days up there with these people who are the nicest people in the world, grateful for everything that we were able to provide for them. But the bizarre part was, again, I was presenting their vision insurance plans, the local the local eye doctors were about 2 hours away in Winslow or Gallup,
Right.
either in Winslow, Arizona, or Gallup, New Mexico. They would literally have to take a day off of work to drive to the not just the eye doctor, any primary, if they needed any primary care that couldn't be taken care of on the reservation. At least a 2 to 2.5 hour drive, and that's based on good weather.
Yeah.
Because it did snow up there, up in those hills. So that's why I asked them how far away. I remember it was just a couple of hours.
Hours everywhere, in every direction, wherever you're going.
Yeah.
It's a couple hours. You're in the car, windshield time. You mentioned the road. Forrest Gump. If you remember the scene where he was running cross country on
Yep.
that long, straight, narrow road with about 30 people following him. I think that was shot on the Navajo reservation.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it reminded me of that when we were out there just recently. But so a lot of work, and we're committed to getting it done. But again, like Kelly said, not aware. People don't have a clue that this is a problem in our country, and
It's shameful.
yeah,
It is shameful. We shouldn't even have to deal with this. This shouldn't be an issue. It should have been taken care of a long time ago. But it's one of those things where people don't know, they're not aware, so they're not going to make demands to take care of this. And I live in Wyoming. We have cities,
Oh.
but every to the next city, it's an hour and a half. It's 100 miles. And so if you want cancer treatment, you might have to drive 3 hours to get somewhere.
What is the Native Americans from that part of the country, Kelly? Do you know?
Oh,
From
here in Wyoming? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I should know better. Yeah, I don't know. Because
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. I
Homework.
stay in my little town and I don't really go anywhere because I hate driving. But yeah, everybody you think in the big city you're in the car all the time driving, but in these little towns in Wyoming, if you want to go somewhere, not that there's all the towns have what you need basically, but if you want something bigger or need something
And it's the same. It's
specialist.
literally the same on the Navajo reservation like that. The local stores have the basic things,
Right.
but there's no certainly no Trader Joe's. There's no Costco. There's no Sam's Club. There's no way you have to again take the day off and. Let's look at it this way. That's also a nice a chunk of gasoline that you got to fill up and do a round trip on too. That's 4 or 5 hours of driving round trip.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
thousands of families haul water at least 3 times a week. They have to drive more than 20 miles in each back and 20 miles out and 20 miles back, and they fill up these gigantic plastic tanks that they bring back because they don't have electricity for the water pumps. They can't pump water out of the ground from the water table, and they
Right.
actually drive
Crazy.
3 times a week just to get water for the home. It's just sad,
Crazy.
really sad.
Well, it makes you wonder because we are really like 50 little countries. I mean, and even the culture from state to state, it's a fascinating place to live if you drive, want to travel around the country, and you don't even have to leave the country on a vacation to really see a different
That's
culture
right.
and different things. But we're not aware enough of what each state has to offer or not offer that doesn't offer, where some states maybe need some more help with their infrastructure. So that's why I was really interested to do this podcast. And when John told me about you and what you do, I just thought it was fascinating and a good way, to share the message with a few more people to be aware that, we all live in our bubble and we only know what we know. You don't know what you don't know. And so until someone says, hey, this is happening somewhere else. And so I think it's really important for us to be more aware as citizens, of what's going on in our country and other states and other places. And so something like this is it's so important. We've had a couple of people on this show about who worked with the Indian community, the Native American community, American Indians. Remember the one about the women who had been kidnapped? The
Yes,
Native American
yes,
women who had been who
yes.
were disappearing. And that's
And
another
right.
thing that you just don't know about. I mean, kids are disappearing, and women, and even men are disappearing all over the country, and we need to, I don't know, just shine a little more light on that so that we're more aware for our own safety, and so that we can reach out and help other people. I think it's amazing that the electrical workers are doing this and volunteering, because it's a very special skill and a highly valued skill to know how to do electrical work. I know my nephew has done some of it, and was an apprentice for it for a while. So it's a very complicated thing to learn, and very special and very vital to our.
But you're right too. I mean, it's one thing that to have their homes wired so that once they get electricity to that area, but talking, like we said, it's sometimes 40, 50 miles from the local big town where electricity would possibly be run from.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and for some reason, out in the middle of the desert, you would imagine that there would be solar farms or wind farms
Yeah.
to generate energy to provide electricity, but it's not there. And I've
It's
driven,
not cost
living
effective though. It's
live
so expensive
I it's
to
got to
build
pay.
those
It
out.
pays off at some point. It has
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Well, we could tap into that. And I think we are. I think there are people that are trying to, expand what we do for energy,
Hmm.
and, be more diverse with our energy. But, it's expensive. We
It's
have to pay for it to build out the infrastructure. I mean, somebody has to pay for it. So, and it has to show a profit later. So everything boils down to that. Who's going to pay for it? But it's really awesome that you guys have done this and volunteered and
Hmm.
saw a need for it. And, there's so many people, good people in this world that we don't know about. So thank you for, sharing.
Is there a website that people can go to
To
see
help,
more
to
or
donate.
donate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. EWWBNA has a website.
Okay.
I had a QR code. I thought I got that to you. But we'll figure that out. That is really the objective now, to try to get people aware. We are stepping it up. I've recently retired, so I have some time on my hands, and a new title might be promoter. We're talking about a Live Aid event. If you remember
Ah,
Live Aid, they had
yeah.
Yeah.
a tremendous concert
Yeah.
both here in the States and in England at the same time. But we're looking at a venue, the Red Rock Canyon out in Colorado, something like that. We get the high end talent. We get Willie Nelson. We get people that care, that are willing to help us raise funds in
Yeah.
order
Hmm.
to continue this work. And so I'm working on that, and I'm looking forward to that. But again, it's right now. It's about the awareness, the government officials, for them to do the right thing, and then for people to help support this effort. Tens and twenties help. It all comes in. It all adds
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I got to tell you though, the volunteers, when they go out there, they have a appreciation night, and the residents come, and they have a community center, and they cook dinner for the volunteers, and
Aw.
the kids are hugging them. They're giving them
Aw.
gifts. They can't believe that people would travel from New York to come out there on their own time to wire their homes, which they couldn't afford to have done. Even if the power got there, most of them don't have enough money to pay an electrician to do the electrical work to ready the house for the power. So what we get back, what our members get back, and I've had some there multiple times. Well, they went once and they just fell in love with it, and so they've gone back. One guy was in a home. He put grandma was 90 years old, She was crying. She was hugging him. He ended up buying a rug that she made in the home. $600. He paid her cash. The guys are generous to a fault to make sure that they fit in. I had another guy, same guy actually. He got invited to a community family event, and they were going to cook a sheep. And so they had this sheep ready to be butchered, and they're all looking at each other like, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? And my guy reaches in his pocket, pulls out his K-bar knife, takes care of the sheep, skins the sheep, butchers the sheep, and they cooked it, and it was funny. One of the guys told him, "You better be careful. Some Navajo woman might try to steal you and lock you up. If you can put shit like that and feed a whole family, they might look to keep you here." But like I said, they go back time and again, and the satisfaction that they get. The IBW is hearts and minds. We're smart guys, but we also have hearts, and understanding to help those less fortunate is really it's what the trade union movement is about. My grandfather was ahead of me in all of this, and he was once interviewed at Cooper Union on the goals of labor, and he said, if I could sum it up in one small sentence, I would say a better life. That's what the trade union movement brings to working people in this country. Yes, a better life, the middle class, all of that. And I carry that to the Navajo reservation. For them, we want a better life. They're less fortunate than us. The suffering that they've gotten so accustomed to forever, it's going to change. Here's the other thing, John. The children, they're growing up. No electricity, no computer, no video game, no phone to tap into. And so what they're doing, they're actually leaving the reservation. When they get old enough to leave, they're leaving the reservation. Since we've been doing this work, kids are coming back. Now there's electricity, and it's amazing. What they all want is a light on the porch. Because when they flip that switch and they light that light in front of their house, it's like saying to the world, "I've arrived." I have power. And but the thing with the children is unfortunate because they're losing their whole being. Who they are.
I mean, even for our audience, just think for 1 minute about what your life would have been at 8 years old. You didn't have TV to look at when you were a kid.
Right.
Just think about that.
Yeah.
Or you didn't have a phone to call up your grandparents or your friends to talk to.
Yeah. So
hot water or refrigerated food.
Yeah. Go to the refrigerator and get an ice cream.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Or milk.
Yeah.
It's all of that. And the children now, they're going to have an opportunity to come back and live on the reservation as Navajo and have a better life. And so that's what drives me. That's what we're committed to. And I can't thank you enough for giving me the opportunity to talk about this. And hopefully people will start to hear it or get it out there. We're going to do this Live Aid thing and raise some money so we can continue to do the work that we're doing. It's so important.
No, it's great. And when after a short bit, when you get more done, and if there's another video that gets made, please come back on. We want.
Oh yeah, we'd love to hear about the Live Aid.
Yeah, and I want to see the difference that you guys are making to these people.
Yeah,
it is certainly a difference, and they can't be more appreciative. The hugs, the kids, it really gets your heart,
Yeah.
So we're committed to it, and again, I want to thank you for letting me come on and start to talk about this. I've got a few more podcasts lined up, and the more people that hear it, they'll at least be aware. That this is a problem. And if we can help those less fortunate, that's a good thing, John.
Absolutely.
And you're a good guy for having me on. I really appreciate it. And
no.
John arranged this. Yeah. And when you sent me all the material I was in tears. I was crying reading through it. And I thought, oh gosh, John's going to hate it if I cry on the podcast because I'm always crying. So I
He
kind of got it
does.
out. But I'm still
Um,
appalled that I've got it all pulled up on my other computer I'm looking at now. And I'm just appalled. I didn't know. Like I said, you don't know what you don't know. And
yeah.
I think it's really important that more people know about this. And we help each other. I mean, that's what our country, that's how we were built, and we've the trade unions built the country and are continuing to. And then probably after they have electricity, how do we get them an internet service? And
That's
then
yeah.
water.
Once those poles are up, the 5G coming. So they're gonna have it all, and hopefully in my lifetime. Hopefully in my lifetime, I would like to see that. I don't know when you guys show the podcast whether or not you got 4 minutes for the movie. If you can figure that out to let people take a look at that video.
Well, you know what I'll do? I'll leave a link in the description. We'll put a link to the website and a link to the video.
Yeah.
If that's okay with you?
And there's a QR code that comes up too that they can click on. And again, like I said, 5s and 10s and 20s make a difference. I'm going to need some deep pocketed sponsors. Excuse me, to make a Live Aid event happen. There are people out there that are willing and be willing to help us do this to keep doing the work that we're doing. So again, I want to thank you both. And if you don't have any more, I'm good to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing this, Chris. And we'll let you know when the video posts, and we'll
absolutely
the links.
I'll get a bunch. We'll get that out too. People are going to want to see that. So,
cool.
All right, nice to meet you,
Chris. Thanks for arranging this, John. Awesome. Yeah.
No, my pleasure. It was great.
You. Awesome. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All views expressed in this video belong to Kellie Nicholson, John D'Amore, and guests. These discussions do not represent the opinions of any entity whatsoever with which they have been affiliated now or will be in the future. The opinions expressed are solely theirs, and since they are critically thinking human beings, these views are subject to change, subject to revision, and subject to rethinking at any time. These conversations are not meant to be taken as advice and are only for the purpose of entertainment. All statements may be based on hearsay and not necessarily valid proof of any claims in this video. It is not our intention to teach or advise on any topic. Unless otherwise noted, all photos are public domain. Thanks for watching A Slice of Life with Kellie and John.